Your phone is contributing to a large amount of your problems, and you do not understand how badly it does. Now, a large part of it, yes, is due to social media, but the cell phone itself also has multiple medical side effects. Now, combining those two factors, I'm going to verbally list the plethora of problems you'll face, such as reduced physical attractiveness, memory impairment, reduced problem-solving skills, anxiety and depression, decreased sleep quality, vision impairment, low impulse control, and worse social experiences. Now, you're probably wondering how that's correlated, or at least how some of it's correlated, and I'll explain that to you now, starting with reduced physical attractiveness. Every man wants to be handsome, and every girl wants to be beautiful. It's basic human nature. So oftentimes when you're using your phone and the reel's on a generational run and it's fucking hilarious, you forget your posture is horrific. You might be thinking, he's yapping about posture? Like, who fucking cares? You should, because it's actually really important for your facial structure, more specifically, your jaw. Poor posture whilst using technology leads to strained and overcompensated muscles of the neck and back, which in turn leads to poor posture outside of it. And poor posture leads to the closing of airways, which not only reduces athleticism, but also leads to poor dental habits, such as mouth breathing or bad tongue posture, primarily while sleeping, as that's when the body attempts to relax, which in turn leads to the recession of the jaw and can cause dental misalignments that cost thousands of dollars to fix. Not only that, these negative habits will lead to poor facial development in adolescence, leading to worsened social experiences that only exacerbates further problems caused by chronic cell phone usage. Another one of them being decreased sleep quality, which directly ties to physical attractiveness and multiple other problems on this list. Now, everybody knows that blue light is bad for you, blah blah blah, nobody really cares, but the actual extent to how much it disrupts your sleep is severe enough where I'd strongly recommend not exposing yourself to it at least 2 hours before bed, or at the bare minimum, investing in a pair of blue light blocking glasses, as blue light hitting your retinas suppresses melatonin production, which means it takes longer for you to fall asleep, so when you finally do fall asleep, you'll get less of it, assuming you have to be somewhere in the morning, which most of us do. And even if you don't, due to the lack of melatonin, your body's circadian rhythm isn't going to function properly, resulting in less REM sleep, which is crucial for emotional stability, forming memories, reducing inflammation, and hormone regulation. All very important for cognitive function and physical appearance, as imbalanced hormones leads to bloating, acne, lower metabolic rate, which could lead to increased body fat to muscle ratio, along with chronic joint pain and persistent fatigue. As for poor cognitive function, that leads to decreased self-control and a number of other issues, which makes it harder to stop the thing that causes the problem in the first place, that being exposure to highly stimulated content on a blue light LED screen before bed. Now that's just the effect of blue light. Don't even get me started on the content itself, because holy fuck, that's so bad for you. The amount of mental retardation one can experience if exposed to the wrong content, especially in teenagers or better yet, children, is astounding. One second you'll be watching shitty relationship advice from a girl that's emotionally damaged and is most likely projecting her trauma onto you. The next you'll see a video with a caption that says, "When you're hungry, so you low-key just eat." And the top comment will be an I Show Speed gif that just says watches. Now, the second one could be considered harmless fun, but the first one not so much. Constant exposure to poor relationship advice and horror stories of what could happen when in a committed relationship with another person can often distort the reality of the one consuming the content. Common narratives you'll run into are that all men are trash, or every girl's a whore if the right person asks. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck. Is there some truth to those statements? To a certain degree, yeah. But seeing the world in such a black and white perspective only exacerbates the issue. For example, a lot of people might start to think, why be good when everyone else is bad? Or if they all lie, I'll just pick the hot one. There's always going to be people with bad character, but to assume everybody does only envelops a sense of paranoia that in itself causes you to contribute to these problems. You become shallow, defensive, and disregarding to others' feelings because when have they cared about mine? Point is, there's a number of thoughts and ideas you can be exposed to, most of them negative and extreme. Once again, combine this with the fact that most people are watching are young and impressionable, and you can see why it would be bad for their psyche, and bad for society as a whole. Now onto all the mental effects. Now there is a large number of them, and they kind of blend together, so I'm just going to gloss over them. Starting with poor memory. On a scientific level, chronic social media use has shown signs of altered development and reduced gray matter of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning, whilst also playing a role in emotional regulation. How that happens is because watching videos with rapidly changing topics, highly stimulating visuals, and a large amount of extremism fucks with your memory. Those things sound like it would make it more memorable, but in fact it does the opposite. When everything's extreme, nothing actually is. On top of that, you only get about 15 seconds worth of content, allowing you to watch more videos in a shorter amount of time. With so much to absorb, you're going to end up forgetting most of it. Do this multiple hours a day, and you'll start experiencing memory problems outside of social media. 2. Poor social skills. Although social media may make you feel more connected, it actually does the opposite. Now, socializing is a skill, and like all skills, it can be improved or forgotten. And whenever you choose to open the weather app instead of talking to a girl you want, or avoiding human interaction by opening your phone in a public setting, that being elevators, clubs, dinners, you're slowly making yourself socially inept. That might sound extreme, but whilst doing that, you are avoiding eye contact, social cues, speech, and proper body language, making you unfamiliar with them when you actually try. 3. Anxiety and depression. Once again, on a scientific level, social media use has shown signs of altered development and reduced gray matter of the prefrontal cortex, orbital frontal cortex, and the amygdala. All of these playing a huge role in emotional regulation. On top of that, they also play a role in decision making, planning, personality expression, impulse control, reward processing, and social behavior. Applied to the real world, you'll get constant procrastination and addictive tendencies that lead to the delaying of priorities that are important for one's goals or work, problems moderating what you put in your body, such as drugs, alcohol, and unhealthy foods that only make problems worse, leading to a downward spiral, emotional ups and downs that are often out of proportion, less enjoyment of regular activities due to reward center damage, and poor decision making, whether that be sexual partners, career choices, or spending habits. All these applied to the long term will lead to an incredibly unsatisfying life. Now, I could keep going about every single problem that arises with social media addiction and chronic cell phone usage, but that would make this video at least a whole fucking hour long, so I ain't gonna do all that. The video is over.